So last night I watched the Michael Jackson movie, and I just want to start off and say that I thought it was incredible. I enjoyed every second of it. Um, and before going into it, I didn't listen to the critics, obviously. I mean, why would you listen to the critics on any movie that you go and watch at the end of the day? Because the critics, they very much slammed this movie from the offset. Of opening weekend, and it's already smashing box office records at the moment this weekend, or after its first weekend. It was a massive success on its first weekend, which to me wasn't really a surprise, to be honest. I always knew that it would. I had a feeling that it would do well in the box office in its opening weekend, and the movie, the critics themselves aren't people you should listen to anyway, but overall, the critics are going to have their, I guess they have to give their verdict on it through the middle, and whatever you want to listen to it with the critics themselves. They're never credible sources, so you got to go watch it for yourself to have a fair understanding, and give it what you feel you would rate it under your own, how much you enjoyed it, because this movie is incredible from start to finish, in my opinion. In this video, I'm just going to do a short review of the movie itself, my thoughts on it. There was a couple things that I thought they, could have done a bit better, but, they ended it at a good point, I think, at the end with his tour in London at Wembley. So I think that they ended it in a good place, but there's a few songs and stuff that they missed out early in the film that they could have done, which would have been really cool to see. But overall, I think they obviously got his greatest hits in there. His rise to fame, which is, just an incredible story, and an amazing, thing to follow. I think this is one of the best biopics we've seen on the big screen that has been made. Elvis Presley was really good as well. There's a few out there that are really good, but this one just hits a bit different. There's something different about this. The story of it, of his life is just incredible, and adapting it into a movie just works. It really works. His rise to stardom, and the troubles he had with his family as well. His father, of course, wasn't, trying to control his life and, make him basically his toy and do whatever, work for him basically, which played a massive struggle in his life as well. But yeah, overall, this movie, it really does conquer everything that it needs to, that was massively important in Michael Jackson's life and his success, and how he became the biggest, performer, the biggest star in the world that we're ever going to see. I thought this movie was very different to a lot of biopics. It's very different because I think it's such a different star that we see, compared to other stars that have biopics. It was made perfectly, I think, and all the Jacksons being involved was incredible. And also, I wanted to say Jafar Jackson as well. He deserves his flowers. He was great as Michael Jackson himself. I thought he played the role perfectly. I don't think there's anyone else they could have or should have got to play Michael Jackson himself. So I think Jafar Jackson deserves his praise and his flowers for the role he played. I think this movie's gonna really he was already a big star before this, but I think it's gonna cement himself and fly him into success right now with the path that he's on. So I'm really looking forward to see where his career goes. Maybe that's acting, singing, who knows? But I think this is definitely gonna, propel him into stardom, and get him a few more roles and stuff like that. So that's gonna be really cool to see. But yeah, overall, they really get everything they need to right. It really focusing on Michael Jackson. It shows how shy he was as a kid in the Jackson 5 as well. It really shows the struggles he went through there, especially with his dad, and not even just him, but all of the Jacksons, the struggles they went through with their dad, and how it was really hard for them to try and break away from him, and obviously Michael was the first to do that. And yeah, it really does show the struggle of them in their early years, but also shows their massive success and their hits in the early years as well, which then started off Michael Jackson's career. And it dives into all of his albums, all of his best hits. Like, everything that it needs to do right, they do right, and I think this movie I thought was incredible. I very much enjoyed it. I think the critics were massively wrong about this, and of course they were with the box office hits that it's doing. I just can't wait to see how much more money it makes, and also more people see it, because obviously this is only the first weekend that it's been released, so there is more to come for this movie, more people to react to it. So yeah, if I had to give this out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought, getting Michael Jackson's story right in a movie is, you have to get it done to a T. You have to get it right, and I think they didn't miss in anything. Like I said, they could have added a few more songs, a few more, things that he did in his early life, and also they could have gone on further after 1988. But obviously, the controversy and stuff like that surrounding him, the alleged stuff that happened after that point, I think they ended it at a good point. The ending of the movie, and yeah, I very much enjoyed this. Jafar Jackson was great. All of the actors were great. I think they really did a good job of bringing Michael Jackson's, story and his, how interesting his life was, and how his, rise to fame, and his rise to being the biggest pop star and biggest star in the world to this day. I think they did it right, and they did it perfectly. And yeah, so I'd love to hear what you guys think of this movie. Did you guys enjoy it? Or are you with the critics? Obviously, the critics doesn't really matter, but of course they did get this movie massively wrong. So if you guys did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.